All right. Do I think the people who call my show have unrealistic expectations? Yes. But not just women, men do too. I think, and I even asked my audience this question, and even they said people have unrealistic expectations, and it came down to the money. Money is a big separation when it comes to dating now. Money did not always matter as much as it does now, even to the point where you just recite $100,000 like it's nothing. And what I've come to terms, to some people, 100K really isn't nothing, but that's not a lot of people because the average person does not make $100,000. They just don't. So if you have the money requirements of, I only will date men that make this amount of money, you have a small pool of men to choose from. It's just, this is a numbers game. This is not your lesson. This is not about you not being a queen. You're probably fine. I don't really know the dynamic. I'm talking pure data. This is pure data. There's only a certain amount of men that make that amount of money or more. Then you got to find him attractive. Then he has to also be available. And if you want marriage, he has to also desire marriage. Okay. So now your pool is extremely small. And then there's like 10,000, and that's just on the low end. I think it's more that want this man.
What does the data say? Smart guy.
Is in high demand.
You got the data. You should give me the exact figures of what's going on, Miss. I have the data. Oh, around about 10,000. She's just pulling numbers out her goddamn weave right now.
If you're just joining us for part 2 of this video, please go back to part 1. In part 1, she says that she's data driven. And yet she doesn't have the data. Where's the data, Kendra? You sitting up there with all them little cards. You ain't got the data written on them cards? Okay.
And I feel as though I know the data. I know how many women reach out to men that fit those categories when they come on my show. And I do not lie to women when I tell them, like, listen, I can prove data. 5,000 women reached out to this guy. Okay. So if you're one of 5,000, then girlfriend, wait for him. But it's a tricky conversation because, see, what's happened is we're still dealing with this old playbook that our grandparents had, but we're not acknowledging the major differences. Okay. First of all, there was no dating app. There was no Kendra G singles dating app when your grandfather was with your grandmother. There was no social media. So your grandmother just had to be the baddest woman on the block. Okay. She had to be the finest woman on the block, or the finest woman in high school, or the finest woman in church. And then maybe if he went to college, the finest woman in college, because that's just what it was. And it was very clear that most people had children. You found someone to have children with, it wasn't really socially
so based
acceptable
off what? Money and being a baddie? That's all we base our life off, huh? She's just the baddest person in it. We got nothing about nobody's character, the intangibles, beliefs, what we raising our kids to do, goals, none of that. Just who's the baddest in fairest in the land, huh?
The baddest on the block in 1957.
That's all that mattered. What was that? That was usually the hoe. The baddest one that was getting chased up and down the block usually was giving it up. It wasn't based off that. Granny wasn't always the first round draft pick, Kendra.
Right.
Like we need to stop speaking on Granny and them too, man. For real.
It wasn't Miss Bertha Ann.
I mean, come on, man.
Miss Bertha Ann wasn't the baddest on the block, but she probably had the good moral character. She knew how to cook. She knew how to sew, clean. So when that man went to that plant and came back with that check, she knew how to sew him and sew them pants together.
It was deeper than this. That's what he needed. Yeah, we so goddamn shallow. What was you talking about? It's money, 100K, and being a baddie. Ain't nothing else gonna determine a relationship other than that. The data. This is what the data says, right? Okay.
But she a baddie though.
She's a baddie with a fatty on my daddy.
Y'all drop down in the comments and give us some baddies from 1940s and 50s.
Come on, man.
Let us know who was a baddie, like celebrity-wise.
It was some, I'm sure. One come to mind, Betty White was finding the motherfucking in 40 something or whatever that was, 30 something. I don't even know when that was. I said, that's Betty White? Wow.
So, drop down in the comments. Name a celebrity, 40s, 50s, 60s. We go to 60s as well.
Right.
Randy, name a celebrity that was a baddie in that time.
Come on, man. That's all it was about, though. Come on, Kendra. The data.
Not be with the father of their children. Well, also, it wasn't even financially acceptable because there was a time when women couldn't even get a bank account in her name. She couldn't get a house in her name. So there was a financial control and children that kept marriages together that probably, if somebody had enough finances to leave, would have left. Well, that's what we're dealing with now. Women have bossed up. They have their own money. So they're not willing to tolerate some of the things that people once tolerated back in the day. And that has been a big separation. And now there's also some women who do well financially. So I get it. So why
they chasing $150 million man then if they bossed up and they got all this money? How do they still find themselves chasing after a bigger bag if they already got the money? They all bossed up. She's a boss. She's fully bossed up. She's in her power CEO era, but you still need to date a man that got more money than you. That doesn't make any goddamn sense neither, man. This is just... Let us continue.
I get the logic part of you make a certain amount of money, so your man should make a certain amount of money. Logically speaking, it makes sense. But the disconnect is you don't understand how that man who makes that amount of money, how he dates. And I know a lot of single men who do extremely well financially who have no desire to get married. They have none. And
maybe our logic is totally different, Kendra, because really logically that doesn't matter to me. I need you to be dependable, reliable. I need to be able to count on you. It don't matter how much money you make. Can I count on you? If you the head of the household, you leading this family, I need to be able to count on you through thick and thin. You gonna hold it down. I'm gonna do my part. I'm gonna be the helpmeet, all that. But responsible. Right. Aaliyah said it. We didn't know we didn't know what she was teaching in that song, though. Are you that somebody?
They wasn't hearing her.
That's what I needed. Like, are you responsible?
You see? It's just not making sense, man. This don't make no sense. Oh my God, man. And she said the men who, these men who are affluent, that they don't want to get married. They don't want to marry y'all. They don't want to marry the competition and the people fighting against them. And they want to marry wives. Of course, nobody wants to marry women like this. Who wants to marry a woman who don't care nothing about you? Who's only about herself? Most boss chicks are like this woman here. Marriageable women don't think like this. It's for few. I'm sure there's a few. There's some outliers. I'm sure it is. I'm 1000%. But the percentages are low. Nobody's enthused about marrying no boss chicks like this. The secret is out. We know how y'all get down. Yeah, he doesn't want to get married to y'all, the competition, the people who fighting and trying to scrape and think you going blow for blow with him. Nobody wants to marry the opposition. Like, come on, man. They want to help me. Somebody who's down with the mission, who might be understated, willing to hold down the front. That's a myth that men don't want exclusivity from their partner. If marriage would come with that, now you might say men don't want to be exclusive. A lot of men do run around and do their thing, and multiple women. That's true. I can give you that. But from the woman that he's dealing with as a wife, he wants exclusivity. So yeah, the marriage might be the key to that. But him not marrying you is telling you he doesn't want to be exclusive with you. They don't like y'all. They don't find y'all marriageable. The men that they chasing after, I'm referring to. Like, come on, man. It's not rocket science. Let us continue.
And they will say it's a financial risk. They've already built what they created. Some might have children, so that part has been fulfilled. So now that pool of guy is even lower. So it's unrealistic. Yes, it's absolutely unrealistic for some women to have a money requirement if you truly want a partnership. Now, if you are a woman that's like, this is my standard, and either I get that or nothing and I'm okay, I respect that. I respect that, because I'm not here to say to you, you better date a man that makes less. If you have decided that I live a certain way, this is how I want to move. And if I don't get a man that makes that amount of money, that wants to date me back and have a partnership, I'm cool. And that is your business. But if you are a woman and having a man.
I was just about to say, F a partnership. This is not no partnership.
Like, okay, let's hypothetically say it was. How can I partner up with somebody who all about their goddamn self? What kind of partnership? You don't even know how to do that right. Of the partnership, but it's all about you and my goals, and I can't achieve. And how is that a partnership?
Right.
There's no teamwork. You're not a teammate. It's all about you. There's no partnerships with these people. And she keeps saying that. On the partnerships. And you want partnerships. And again, she's more like a vessel to her audience in some ways. So the boss chicks, she's the logo, put her on the money, the boss chick dollar. She be on the coin right there, wherever the $10 boss chick food stamp, whatever. She be on the bill. She speaks for them. Like that's what they feel. Like they don't know how to be partners. They're selfish. They're greedy. I don't care how much it would, I would gain. But if I knew I was going into business with somebody who's selfish, greedy, self-centered, and all, that wouldn't be a good partnership to go into. Because it's just a matter of time before they turn on you. Like that's just, come on, man. I'm getting upset. I will roll up. Y'all can, Queen, you take over for a second. I'm going to do this.
And having a partnership is very important to you. I would say do not have money at the top of the list and just date. Just date. I think that that's how women can get the power back when it comes to dating, because I argue all the time about the woman being the prize. But now I have to say that particular man that every woman wants, I think he will be considered the prize to a lot of women because you're chasing him and you only want him. Now, if you stood and recognize who you are is amazing, and anybody that gets a chance to link in your life is a lucky somebody, then you would date with that confidence and you would just date. Okay. I'm not saying date a bum on the street. He ain't got no job. He alcoholic. I'm not saying that, but there are quality guys with good characteristics who might not just make 100K. Okay. So if you start at the money and then you do the characteristic second, yes, you're going to have a smaller pool, but that's a decision that only you can make for yourself. Next question. Okay. Does the rating scale matter to men 1 through 10? So I was recently asked this question on the Shade Room because Stephen A. Smith did a conversation and he said that
some absolute BS is incoming. I just want to forewarn y'all. Absolute BS.
Men should focus on a 7 opposed to a 9 or a 10. I'm going to play the clip and then I'm going to give my response.
All the men, there's no man alive that would disagree with what I'm about to say. You want a strong 7. Let me tell you why. 10, fine as all get out, tat out, body, looking fine, everything like that, got it going on. Too much maintenance. Too much, because she knows she fine. And you're expendable. She could take you or leave you. A 9, that's a problem too. Because you got enough people telling her she's a 10, so half of them acting that way. And by the way, the ones that ain't acting that way still require more from you than what others might. And so you got to be up on your game. That's problematic. 8, that's ideal. Because that's really, really good looking. She got it going on. But at the same time, there's a level of independence that comes with it, which is never a bad thing. until she's so independent that she's making you feel like you need to be more dependent on her than she needs to be on you. Here's where the strong 7 comes in. Looks wise, she can compete with an 8. But her mentality is not that of an 8. So she's more appreciative of you wanting her. As a result, she shows an elevated appreciation for you wanting her. Therefore, she treats you like she wants you. And as a result, y'all have more of a good time together. Fellas, am I lying?
Okay, so shout out to Stephen A. Smith.
Hold on. Hold up, Goro. You slow down. First point of order. First, A. Smith, he was spot on. He better watch out. Somebody gonna silence him. He giving up good game. You don't tell him all that. Don't give that up. You don't give that away. A. Smith, he was right on. And fellas, y'all know what he's talking about. Second, and more importantly, point of order, I think that clip was from the Stephen A. Smith podcast on his platform, on his YouTube or wherever this podcast is broadcast at. I don't know if Kendra knows Stephen A. personally to react from that clip, but what I just saw was Kendra G doing a reaction. The same thing she got the lawyers on everybody's ass and pulling copyrights down and all that about. She's doing a reaction. This is a reaction. Am I right or wrong? No? Correct me in the comments if this Miss this is why I don't like fair use. Doing a reaction. Okay. It's cool when she do it, but it's a problem if we do it. Okay.
So apparently she know what fair use is now. Overnight, she found out what fair use is. Okay.
That's what I like about fair use. If A. Smith went and said, "Pull that down," I don't want that. She's not authorized. What's she gonna do?
She better not say fair use.
Man. You podcast. Oh, I'm talking about the podcast, man. On the podcast, or on her own podcast. The podcast, man, and your small penises. I don't like reaction channels and fair use.
You know, I never thought I'll see the day Kendra G doing a reaction. But let's get to this reaction.
I will say this. I have heard this time and time again. I definitely have heard men say focus on a 7 instead of a 10. But I will say this. The men that I heard say that, they don't want to be husbands. Okay. I think that nobody wants to be with a person that they don't find attractive. But I think when men are settling down with women, the scale of 1 to 10, no, I'm going to be honest. I think men chooses a 1. Let me break down what I mean when I say a 1. A 1 is one of one. A man settles down with a woman that he feels as though has this one-on-one factor that she has over every other 8 billion women that are on this planet. I don't know. It could be the mother to his children. It could be the woman that knew him before he was successful. It could be the woman that gave him a place to stay until he got on his feet. I don't really know what that wow. I don't know what that wow factor is that he sees in her, but he's sees in her. And there's people.
Kendra, you don't know what the wow factor is? Let me tell you what the wow factor is. It's called being a wife. She was a wife. That's why he wifed her up. When he found her, she was a wife. Didn't matter what she looked like. She was probably decent looking in the face. Like, you know, what Stephen A was talking about, like that 7. Yeah. And her character and all of that made her a wife.
See, that's where we go wrong. See, her rhetoric was decent on the back end. If she didn't preface it with the "you don't find them attractive." Did you not hear what this man just said? He said an 8, a 7, 8, 9, 10, all that is attractive. He didn't say a deuce. He didn't say a donut. He said a 7, an 8, whatever. That's attractive. See, if she's not a baddie, you see, if she's not the A1, whatever 10 most, whatever the hell she want to call it, beautifulest, then he saw something else about her that's outside of her beauty. Somebody could be attracted to a woman that's universally a 7 or whatever you want to number you want to put on. There's the other levels of attraction besides the physical, like you said, the wow factor, the femininity, being a wife, being a woman. That's what'll get you in the long run. There's always beautiful women everywhere. You're gonna see a 10 today, you're gonna see a goddamn 20 when you go around the corner. I live in New York. That ain't a come on, man. That's not enough, man. That's not enough. Like this bozo, this small bird brain, she could only if you a baddie and if you got money. That's all that matters. That's all that can equate in this pea brain of hers, man. The data.
Baddie. What a fatty.
People that might say his wife is not attractive, or what does he see in her, and they're outside looking in, judging their marriage, but they got it, you know, and they're happy. And I feel as though when men settle down, they settle down with a girl they feel is one of one. She has something unique that no other woman has. And that is only can be determined by that guy. And I think that when we go into these scales, there's so many ways to challenge it, because, you know, I'm not going to name names because I'm not a mean-spirited woman, but there's women who may not be considered even a 7 married to millionaires. Like, it just is. So that's a grace. I feel like looks matter when you have a presentation. So, and I want to say here, because I don't want this to get misconstrued, I'm not saying don't put your best foot forward. Nobody wants to be with a person who's just sloppy and lazy and doesn't want to take care of themselves. I don't think anybody wants that type of person. So invest in yourself for you, not necessarily for your partner. You do it for yourself. But the fact of the matter remains is, you know, I live in California, and a 10 in California, child, let's say this, you could be a 10 in Alabama. Does not mean you're going to be a 10 when you get to California. Okay.
Yes, it do. Yes, it do. Because a 10 in Alabama probably looks better than a 10 in the California. California women probably got all this plastic surgery and a fake face, fake all body parts and stuff. We talking about a 10.
10.
Fresh face, out the shower. You know, all of that. Like, no enhancements, no makeup.
She'd be a 10 anywhere around the world.
Right.
If you a 10 like that, you a 10 anywhere. That's a 10 everywhere.
Right.
Like,
she beautiful.
You need 10 pounds of the shit that Kendra wearing and to take 6 bags of hair and all that to be a 6 or to think you a 10. You not a 10. Like, you not. What it really is, it's the per capita. You might be the 10 in Alabama.
Right.
You just another 10 in California.
Right.
That's how that works. In the small town, you the belle of the ball. You the prettiest peach in the patch. Exactly. But when you take your ass up to Manhattan, you come to Harlem, you just one of many. Like, it's just it's a bunch of those out there. That's where they congregate in the big cities. The beautiful women, they go to the big city. They leave the little small pond and they go to the big city. It's always been like that. We've always heard the stories. You go to Hollywood, you go to New York, now they got like Miami and, you know, these other places rose up to more prominence. But the bigger the city, the more the 10s. It's math. It's nothing that you're not breaking any ground. She's saying the damn thing wrong. If you a 10 fresh face out the shower, like the Godfather said, that's around the globe a 10, hands down, no questions asked. It's not that many of those running around either. Right? But let us continue, man.
California, this is the land of the beautiful. And these girls' currency is beauty. I know plenty of men that date girls who are gorgeous with no jobs, and they get their lifestyle supplied by these men. And maybe one day it will change, or maybe not. But I think that some people are lost on when pretty is your only attribute, but it does work for some women. So listen, use what you got. I'm not here to judge. Do you? Next question. Hyper independent women. So I think this is a new conversation. This is a woman. I think I am the definition of a hyper independent woman, because I'm a woman that can take care of myself financially. I definitely like things done my way. I'm a CEO of a company, and
masculine is the
I
word you're
really
looking for.
am very much a CEO. I have to make decisions constantly, and you have to be strong in those moments. And I'm constantly, as a woman, you know, one thing I've learned in being an entrepreneur, and what my first, you know, biggest project is the dating app. There are times I have to be very stern with men, because just because I'm a woman,
With
it takes me
men?
longer to get my point across, because they just don't take women seriously at times. But
girl, bye. You know, okay, let me just say this. She a CEO of a company. If this was a man CEO talking about the women in his company, there'd be, I mean, you would be counseling him.
Right.
You would counsel him.
Right. If he sat there and said that, I gotta be stern with these women in my company.
Right. These women, because they, you know, they this and that. Get out of here. You know, let me just say this real quick. I'm going to put a little piece of personal information. I just recently became a manager. So my team of employees is all women. And I got to be stern with them, because it's no accountability. I literally had this one lady, I literally had to hold her feet to the fire to get some accountability. So
this is true. It's real life.
Like, what are you talking about? It's just not men, and it's not men versus women. It's people in the workplace sometimes don't take accountability, and you got to be stern with them. You have to be stern with them because you are the supervisor, the leadership. You have to be stern, not because they're men. Kendra, is the point that I'm trying to convey.
And as well, let me pontificate a little bit on that. You are absolutely right. And the reason they don't, but the reason they don't take her serious is not because she's a woman. Can anybody fill in the blanks why they don't take Kendra seriously? I think I know why. I think it's really clear. She's dumb. That's why they don't take her seriously. She doesn't come off as a smart, intelligent woman. Anybody who sits around this bozo knows she's an airhead. So she can come in with the presentation, and she's gonna get her way, and she's doing that. She's got to put her own money up to get her way, because nobody's gonna agree with some of these ideas. Just the business decisions within themselves, man, not making that much sense. But she's profiting, so I guess it's working for her. But time will tell. They don't. It's not that they don't take her seriously because she's a woman. There's a lot of women in business that they're taken very seriously.
Right.
You're just not all that smart, Kendra. And anybody who knows that and dealing with you for a little while, they can see that you're just not all that bright, not the brightest bulb in the display. That's why
You
they
gotta
take
be
you serious.
stern with the men. That's ridiculous.
You never had to get stern with a woman? Or every time it's they all bow down into your queendom and all that, huh? Okay. She's trying to get stern with men, like her even
Probably
her
so.
business. You're right. She's been there bucking up or want to bug up with you because you're a man sitting opposed the table from her.
Exactly. Yep.
I don't apologize for being a hyper independent woman. I actually am very proud of myself. You know, like I mentioned earlier, when I was engaged, I always knew I wanted to move to California in my 20s. Right? It literally took me 20 years to get to the state that I wanted to live in. And throughout those 20 years, I was applying for jobs and I never got a job. Like nobody was not hiring me. And then I realized that if I have to wait for someone to give me the opportunity, I'm never going to be able to live in California. So I got to create my own opportunity. And that's what I did. And I don't apologize for that. Like, I really love me. And I think I'm dope. I'm not trying to sound conceited, but I know that I have a good cloth. I'm not a bad person. I'm not a perfect woman, but I'm not a bad woman. And I don't want to be less than so a man can feel like a man. If I have to downplay who I am for a man to feel like a man, well, he's just not the man for me. And I'm very much okay with that. I have done that in relationships. I had
This is absolutely ridiculous.
You hear it, right?
Look,
Y'all hear
let me
Go ahead,
just say this.
please,
I haven't ever had to, like, in our relationship, I haven't had to downplay who I am. Oh, I gotta be less. I gotta be less than because he a man and he don't want me to share my ideas and he don't want me to succeed in my career and he don't want me to professional advance professionally. Don't go for that job. Don't be a manager because he gonna look at you. Never have I thought that. Like, you encouraged me, like, go do it, go for it. Like,
there you go. That was what I was about to ask. What was the response? What is the
go
response?
for it. And before I actually made the decision, this is the part that some of the career women don't take into consideration. Because we are in a relationship, and I went to you and told you they have this position open, and I think it's perfect for me. What do you think? I don't want to take it without getting your feedback on it. And you gave me your feedback.
Yep. And that's genuinely how I felt.
It's not exactly a problem.
Not at all. Encourage that shit. Go as far as you can go. That's what I'm on. Like, I'm not intimidated by anything. I'm very confident where I am and where I'm going. There's no reason to be intimidated. See, but what she says, you got to listen to what this bozo's saying. You got to be less than to be with her. That's the poke. See, that's the part that's missing. Like, your masculinity and hers is going to bump up against each other. It is. It's going to be erupt. So you know what? You're going to have to be the meek mouse, bow down, be under the Kendra G Incorporated umbrella to be with her. It's the only way it's going to work. That's all. Simple. She's giving you the inside secrets. This might be her undoing. See, sometimes you shouldn't talk so much. But again, this is not nothing we didn't know. Well, not that I didn't know. Maybe somebody who wanted to date her, or maybe, one of these prospects or these dudes in her DMs and chasing her around. That might turn somebody off if you can catch the coded language that she's dropping. But let us continue.
Lowered who I was to my fullness because I could tell that it was a challenge for the guy I was dating at the time. And this is not happened in one relationship, it's happened in several relationships. Dang. And then I recognized that I wasn't happy because I could not be my full self. And as soon as I decided I got to be my full self, those are the moments when we're getting to the beginning of the ending of the relationship, because I'm just not going to downplay who I am for anybody, let alone a man. Like, we talk about relationships. I want to sit here for a second.
Let alone a man.
There's so much conversation about romantic relationship, but really you should have this standard for every relationship. Like, I have a standard for every relationship. Like, my daddy can't talk to me a certain way, so there's no way I could be in a romantic relationship and the guy is talking to me a certain way. Friends.
What does that even mean? Like, unless your daddy talking to you mad disrespectful and calling you out your name, I don't see what that means. Like, your daddy can't talk to you a certain type of way. He's your parent. Like, again, not disrespectful.
Right. No. I believe something different. I believe that you can excoriate somebody if you love them. It hit different when when somebody come at you a certain kind of way, when they don't have no effect or nothing behind it. Right. If somebody came to me and said, "Yo, T, you effing up, man. You need to get your shit together, man. I love you, man. I don't want to see you out here like this." You got to take that differently. Then it's not always flowers and talking to you nice and pedaling and waving the big feather when you walking around. Like, that's not how life works. Right. So again, let's look at the coded language. Anytime she get into something or some kind of back and forth, and he probably ain't yell at her, he ain't hit her, he didn't do nothing extreme. He just put a stern way that men deal. She don't like that. A certain way, and everything got to be flowers and rosy for this woman, man. She's telling you everything a certain kind of way. What is a certain kind of way? She didn't say cursing. She didn't say cursing. She didn't say calling me out my name.
Right.
She didn't say anything like that. What's a certain kind of way? When he told you you're not smart enough to do this? Or why don't you stay at this radio station instead of moving around the goddamn country like an idiot? Why don't you build something? Somebody probably trying to give her some advice. Men, that's how we do. We don't administer our love the same way as women. And she don't understand this. Like, I don't think she gets this. Like, yeah, he might come at your daddy, might talk to you a certain kind of way when you're doing something that's stupid.
Right,
but again, there's love behind the admonishment.
Exactly. Right. That's why I was saying, barring him talking disrespectful to you or cussing you out, like, what do you mean your daddy got to talk to you a certain type of way? Like, okay.
Gotta throw the rose petals when she walk in. If you challenge anything she say, then the deal's off. I'm a strong, independent woman.
She make her daddy bow. Powerful, almighty Kendra.
First of her name, Queen of the Andals.
The seed of my loins.
Right. Loinar and all that. All that. The Andals, the queen of the 7 kingdoms and all that. Yeah.
I know you don't tell that to your daddy. At least have some respect for your daddy. Like, come on now.
Doubt it.
Can't talk to me a certain way. Family members can't talk to me a certain way. And now let me go back. Let's talk and use the word treat. My daddy can't treat me a certain way. Like, I'm gonna start with him because my father is my favorite human being,
that ruins
and
you.
he's
That's
the person that will be in my life until one of us see Jesus. Like, we have a lifelong bond. He ain't going nowhere. It is what it is. We have had plenty of fights. We have taken months of breaks of not talking to each other. But at the end of the day, my father got my back like nobody on this planet. He's in it for life. But there's a standard I have when it comes to him. So if I'm not going to allow my father to treat me a certain way, how am I going to let a man treat me a certain way? How am I going to let a different family member treat me a certain way? How am I going to let a girlfriend treat me a certain way? It's just not happening. So you need to have an overall standard of respect that goes across the board for yourself. And you have to be willing to lose that person if they don't rise to your standards. Because I want to sit here for a second. You can have a standard, right? And people may not rise to your standard. You got to let them go. If you're not going to let them go, then just don't have the standard and be okay with yourself and say, you know what? This connection is so important to me. I'm going to lower my standard in order to have it. And if that is your choice, then that is your choice. But then don't complain about it when you have lowered your standard in order to have that relationship. And now you're mad at the relationship is not going in the direction in which you want to. You lowered your standard for it. Now, if you raise your standard back up, more than likely you're going to lose that person. Let me give you an example. There's conversations like, you shouldn't let a man stay in your house without paying any bills. And that could be true.
Ain't no could be true. Ain't no could. Nigga, that's in the Bible.
You shouldn't let a man
in the good book.
Stay in your house. Why are we letting men stay in our house? Why are we moving a ninja in?
Man.
Don't move that ninja in. Man. Don't do it. Don't do it, Miss Seeley.
This is insane.
You moved a ninja in and he don't pay no bills. Why do we have to go to these extremes? Like,
that's all it is. It's negative. Dang. Like, that's a bleak outlook on relationships in general. And you know what? Like I want to talk seriously. Like, we joking and all that. We do all this, but this, like, when we see, like, everything we seen in these few clips that we watched, just in this podcast, tells me a lot about Kendra. Maybe I'm getting esoteric. She can't understand human relationships on a fundamental level. Like, I think, like, at its core, like, she got all this twisted. That's why I think she shouldn't, like, hosting a dating show. Again, it's like an atheist preaching you in church. Like, this don't match. Like, she don't belong here. Like, she's misplaced. We just seen her cream her jeans for a stranger, for strangers. It was a whole clip. It was Jennifer Hudson, Halle Berry, Janet Jackson, this and that and this, that. But my daddy can't talk to me a certain kind of way, and I can't do. You don't understand like interpersonal relationships. When these people got love for you, people you know, they're going to talk to you a certain kind of way. They're going to tell you things that you need to hear. They're going to tell you the truth. They're going to tell you things for your benefit. But she's so goddamn bullheaded that she stops messing with people when they tell her what she don't want to hear. But cream in your pants, groupie love for all these strangers and all this, like she hold Beyonce up, damn, they're just as high as her mama. Rest in peace to that lady. But damn, it's like you putting these people, you pedestalize strangers, but the people in your corner, the people who probably love you, I'm sure your daddy love you. I'm sure some of these men that you encounter, they probably really genuinely had love for you. Because they didn't tell you what you wanted to hear. You leave them people and you go about your business and you see stepping on people to get to the top. This is poor, man. This is a pathetic showing, and this just says something about her character, y'all. Like, y'all know it might seem like I hate Kendra. I don't hate her. It's just the type of the presentation and the phoniness. I don't like phonies, man. I don't like people who come off fake like this. She's very fake. Maybe it's like she don't know no better. Like maybe I should give her some grace. Maybe she just don't know. She just that green, like she don't know no better. But she just come off so fake, man. It's kind of disgusting to me. And you kind of acting like you doing things for the people, but you so selfish and self-serving. Just look around her. Kendra G singles, Kendra G singles, Kendra singles. Like, come on, man. Like, how much logo you need? How much of yourself you got to impart to help other people? Like, anyway, man. I'm gonna let that go. We're gonna continue with the video.
That could be true, but guess what? You might tell him, "Listen, you're gonna have to chip in. You can't stay here anymore if you don't pay any bills." And then he might be out and go to the other girl's house that's gonna let him stay with her and not pay no bills. That's just a fact. I think that we always like it's the cliffhanger when I hear so many people give relationship advice and they say things what you should not do. You should leave this man. Okay, they don't talk about what happens when you leave. I'm not invested in the decisions that you make for your life because guess what? You can't move in with me. You can't move in with me. I'm not going to help you raise your kids. I'm not going to send you any money. So I can't force you to make a decision for you. What I can tell you to do is you got to look into the mirror and ask yourself, the way I'm living, is this right by me? Is this right for me? And if it's not right for you, put together a plan. Put together a plan. Don't be emotional. Be logical. Because some of you guys are.
If we sit here and judge what's right by me, we'll never get anywhere. Like, really, you should be judging it, just depending on your beliefs. What's right by the Lord? What lifestyle I'm going to live that is pleasing to the Lord? Sometimes that's uncomfortable.
That's true. Or even the societal accepted norms.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could live up to some of that. It got to be something got to govern you. You can't just set all your own standards and do all that. That's not how these things work. In certain ways, certain areas, you have these certain standards that's set solely by you. I only like Michael Jordans and whatever. Can't nobody tell you what to do with some things like that. But when we talk about like societal acceptable norms and the survival of women, men, us as a people, like everything can't just be to what you say it to be. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
Dynamics where you just can't get up and leave a person right away. You got to put some things in place, and that's fine. But be proud of yourself that you decided, okay, this isn't working for me. Today is May 1st, but I'm gonna put my plan together, and by December I'm gonna be gone. That's respect. Okay, let's keep it going.
So if y'all want to see the rest of the video, y'all can check out her new podcast. This is episode 1 of her podcast, and check it out for yourself. It's foolishness. Newsflash, she doesn't mention Ashy Foot. That's something, that's a real question that everybody has. You didn't mention Ashy Foot or that Tasha K video exposing Ashy Foot. So you answering these questions. Who asking these questions?
Who's interested in any of those questions?
Right.
You wrote questions to yourself to ask yourself
Exactly.
about yourself on your own self show.
With the cards. Yeah.
Boy,
So,
oh boy, man.
Check it out. It'll be linked in the description.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm gonna say, I'm not close, no final thoughts here, but we're just kicking it. It was just softball for a couple minutes here. But again, she better call in the celebrity guest and all that, because this ain't going no further than 3 to 5 episodes. This right here. I mean, this is just psychobabble. This is nonsense. It was insightful because of the questions that was asked. But again, this is not something that we didn't know. We found out a few things about Kendra. But she's going to need like some guests or something to jazz it up. Because the podcast, I don't know too many podcasts that are ran by one person. Sole proprietor. They might be the host, and they might have somebody in the background to contribute, or somebody to call in, or something like that. Like, it's got to be more social than this. Like, her sitting there again, writing questions to herself about herself, to ask herself, to talk to herself. Like, I mean, that ain't gonna get too far. Y'all put the over and under. I got 3 to 5 episodes because it costs money to put on production. Obviously, you see she got a camera, a mic, so she put in some, a little scratch into this. So maybe,
Oh, go ahead.
No, I mean, maybe she's going to, it's an investment, and if she doesn't see a return, I don't know if she's going to keep it going. So if it don't make no money, I don't think it's going to go on too much longer.
Right.
What you say, man?
I was thinking what I got her for. I don't know. Maybe 6 to 10, maybe, because her schedule is so packed as well. Like, she's running all over the place. Like, with a podcast, it has to be scheduled. Like, I forgot what day this came out, but are you going to come out with it every Monday, every Tuesday? Like,
once a month?
Where are you getting these questions from? And things like that. I don't know. Like, y'all, people come to our comment section and say that we hate her. We want to see her fail. I don't want to see her fail. I don't want to see anybody fail, really. But we sit here and brainstorm ways for her to actually succeed. Really? And I'm pretty sure her cousins give her ideas. They even gave her an idea about the name of the podcast. She didn't even want to. She didn't even use that. They were like conversations with Kendra, but like the conversations had a K. But she doesn't want to give credit to other people. Like, I think that's a problem. That's a major character flaw. Like, you don't want to give credit to other people. Like, you could have really went with that and whatnot. But like, we kind of said ways to help her.
Stop. She wants to stop the reviews. We found there's a workaround to that. Not stop them, but there's a way you can benefit.
Right,
even you can double time off of that. We're not going to throw anything out here, but we were just kicking it around and softballing like, oh, you could do this. We in the content creative business, so we kind of know, how it works. Something. We ain't gonna go too far behind the curtain, but we were kicking it around to see like, oh, you could, if she did this, and this, she can keep the reviews and let them do their thing. Have her, you know what I mean, woo-woo, and all that. Like,
I think if she did that, like she would make more money. Like, she probably double her profits and whatnot.
Right. If she would
got the
to
audience
somebody,
and stuff like that.
And there's people, and I'm sure she got people that she spoke to that got more knowledge on the situation than we have. But it seems like she's not listening. Like, again, she's this boss and she's the sole proprietor. So can't nobody tell her nothing. Because you put your face on the logo and all that, that don't mean you know what's best and this is your arena. She's really like fairly new to YouTube. She just said right there, like, I didn't even know he had a big presence on YouTube. You don't watch a lot of YouTube. She said that in her own comments. Oh, I don't watch a lot of YouTube. Things of that nature. But we ain't gonna softball too much. You guys want to, watch the podcast. We linked it down there. We appreciate everybody for coming out. we're gonna, you know, back to the regular content. We got some new things we're trying to introduce to the channel as well. So you know we always rolling. But we love y'all. Y'all be safe out there. We will catch y'all on the next one.